Hey everyone, welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. I'm Denise Salcedo, and it is the July 23rd edition of WWE SmackDown. And today's SmackDown emanated from two different locations. We had both the Cleveland location and also Rolling Loud Festival, the rap music festival that took place in Miami. So we had a very interesting SmackDown today. I gotta say, you know what? I think that today was a pretty strong episode of SmackDown. Obviously, it wasn't as, I would say, as jam-packed as last week's was, given that, last week was really the return of the crowds and all of that. And that episode felt really, really good. However, I will say that I love the direction in which SmackDown is heading in based on the events that occurred here today. So I can't wait to talk about SmackDown because we have an exciting new direction for Roman Reigns. We have the return of John Cena. We had, again, the two matches that occurred at Rolling Loud, so I can't wait to talk about those as well. And we also had the debut of Toni Storm, so lots to kind of get us going here today. But before we get started, I want to welcome you guys all to the show. Thank you guys so much for joining me. My SmackDown coverage is usually my most chill show of the day, so if you guys just want to come in here, have a good time, chat some wrestling, I am all here for it. And as you guys know, this is a very interactive stream, so make sure to send in your thoughts, your questions, your statements in the comments, and I will make sure to respond. And again, you guys can send in a super chat throughout any point of the stream, and I will definitely read your guys' post. And here we go. Let's get started because we actually have quite a few super chats that came in before even I was in here. So that makes me very happy. But here we go. Our first super chat of the evening. This one is from my creation, Adam Blamplate, who says, well, didn't expect that 10-ding average show Toni Storm won should only be used for big pay-per-view matches. Storm Zero should be used for TV matches. Dude, there was a lot that kind of surprised me from Toni Storm's debut here today on SmackDown. However, with that being said, I thought it was a pretty solid debut. And I saw a lot of people in the chat section kind of talking about how at least they treated Toni Storm good with her debut, not like the way that they treated Karrion Kross. I'm not even going to touch that because I've already ranted about that, I feel like, on like 50,000 shows. So I won't touch that. But the fact that we're even making the comparison is just crazy and mind-blowing and should kind of just prove my point that I've been making the last several days, that loss from Karrion Kross to Jeff Hardy was completely nuts. But either way, I thought that Toni Storm had a pretty decent debut today on SmackDown. So thank you so much to Adam Blamplate for kicking us off there. We have another super chat. This one is from Heidi Ho 77. Heidi didn't send in a message, but thank you so much either way for sending in a super chat. I thank you very, very much for it. And I know we had another one here. Oh, here, another one from Heidi Ho who says, great to see Toni Storm make her debut. Great to be watching this review live for a change. Also, it always makes me happy when people, watch the show live because I know a lot of people watch obviously on the replay. So thank you so much for catching me live. But I'm kind of liking that all the comments today are about Toni Storm. That's kind of crazy. I thought that the majority of the comments would be about Finn Balor, Roman Reigns, John Cena, that Rolling Loud festival, but it looks like a lot of people have a lot to say about Toni Storm. So thank you so much to Heidi Ho 77 for sending in this super chat here. And all right, I'm going to read a couple of your guys' comments because we're getting so many different things here. But let's get, we do have one that I'm going to read from Sticker Reds 202 who says that my decor keeps getting better and better. So guys, so on the right side of my screen, for the audio listeners, you will not see this, but for the video people, you will obviously see this. I finally got a brand new stand for the right side. I was waiting for Amazon to ship it. They shipped one and it came broken, so I had to reorder it. And now the problem is that the other things that I ordered some masks, I ordered some belts. They haven't came yet, so this area kind of looks a little naked. So don't worry, things are coming. I will be adding more to my decor space, so you will be seeing more and more stuff on here. But anyways, let's go ahead and kick off the show because we got so many comments here and I kind of feel like it's in all different directions. So I want to make sure we kind of touch on things in order because there was just so much. But we actually have a super chat from Martin Carrillo. Martin Carrillo says, keep making me proud, Denise. I'm also from LA. Cool. If you are watching here and you are from Los Angeles, we share a special bond, everybody, because if you guys know, on every single podcast that I'm on, I'm always bragging about how great Los Angeles is. But thank you so much to Martin Carrillo for sending in this super chat here. We have another comment from Captain Stuttler Girl. I don't think I said that right, but she says, Denise, your plays in Werewolf are top notch. You deserved that win. For those of you guys who do not know, I did get to play Werewolf, and it was so much fun with Adam Blumpiade and all his friends down there with Lori, with Sullivan. I mean, it was with Joe. I mean, it was just so much fun. I posted the links to that on my Twitter. We have another super chat from Christopher Marino. He says, hope the sunburn is doing better. For those of you guys who do not know, I'm suffering from a terrible sunburn. I don't even want to show it on camera because it's so bad, but that's why I'm wearing a long sleeve. But we have another super chat from Colette Adam, and then we'll jump into the show, who says, hello, Denise, do you think WWE is burying Zelina? Also, what did you think of the Miami Festival segments? I wasn't feeling it. So, Khaled, we will definitely get into that. I'm not going to jump in just yet into the Zelina thing, but I will tell you that I feel your question has some legitimacy to it based on some of the things that we have been seeing. And again, I will go into that once we actually get into the show. We have another super chat from Heidi Ho, who says, I'm from LA too, Lower Alabama. That is, you kind of fooled me. And then I was like, Lower Alabama? What? Thank you so much to Heidi Ho for sending in another super chat. But let's do this, guys. Let's jump into, obviously, so the key things that you guys should know about today's show is that this is the second week with crowds. We're broadcasting from two locations, Cleveland and Rolling Loud. And obviously we're coming off of Money in the Bank and we are making our way to SummerSlam. So there's a lot going on, especially coming off of this very, very hot wrestling week with so much news. I mean, it's been absolutely nuts. But we're going to open things off with the John Cena segment. So John Cena, he had already been announced that he would be on SmackDown here today. And I just got to say, first and foremost, that Cleveland definitely topped Texas in the reaction for John Cena. I mean, they were so hot throughout the entire night, but really, when John Cena came out, he didn't have to work. He's always this very energetic person, right? And he's so good at pumping up the crowd. But last week on Raw, this week, on Raw, it felt like he was kind of struggling to get the audience to like really kind of like, they were happy and they were excited to see him, and they had obviously a great reaction for him, but he was kind of struggling to get them to that next level. And I feel that Cleveland was like, no, you guys, you don't even got to work with us. Like, we're here, we're loud, we're ready. So essentially he comes out, he starts pumping up the crowd. I mean, like, just like no other. You guys know how John Cena does. And he basically pumps up the crowd for a Roman John Cena face-to-face. And we're wondering, like, okay, when is this going to go down? Is this going to go down at the top of the show? Is this not going to go down at the top of the show? We'll see. Then he starts saying that he knows that there are Roman Reigns fans out there, and that did garner a nice little reaction, but we did have a little bit of a mixture. We had people booing, we had people cheering. With Roman Reigns, it's still a little bit of a mix with the crowd reactions here. But then he starts saying that no matter what, people deserve to go out there and cheer for who they want, because we are no longer in the Thunderdome, and we are no longer in that phase, and that people should stand up for what they believe in. But then he calls out Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns does not come out because Roman Reigns is on Roman Reigns' time, not John Cena's time. Instead, we get none other than Paul Heyman. The crowd reacts very nicely to Paul Heyman as well. And Paul tells him that he tells John Cena, you got it all wrong. Roman, it's not that Roman can't see you. It's that he can't hear you because it is not worth his time to even listen to you. And then Paul gives him his word, though, that later on in the night when Roman decides he wants, that he will answer John Cena's challenge, the challenge that he issued for the title at SummerSlam. So then I'm going to kick it off with this super chat to end up this segment, because we have a super chat from Anshu Kamal, who says, I can hear Heyman and Loop. I'm not even going to try to see the John Cena song. I'm so bad. But he goes off and he's literally singing the John Cena rhythm of the theme song as he goes out. And I mean, this was pretty hilarious because he kind of saw himself out, but the way that he was singing John Cena's song was absolutely hilarious. So thank you so much to Andrew Kamal for sending in this super chat and kind of reminding us of that awesome moment. We have another comment from Justin Martin who says, Paul Heyman out there bringing such a moving rendition of Cena's entrance music. Give that man a Grammy. Here we go, guys. Never do karaoke with Paul Heyman because he will probably outshine you. That is what we learned here today. Honestly, that's definitely what we learned here today. And let's see what else we got here. Okay, I think for the most part, everybody did enjoy that for sure. Someone says, you're crazy. The floor was literally shaking here in Fort Worth at Money in the Bank. Oh, excuse me. I should have clarified that. The John Cena pop at Raw was not as strong as the Cleveland one because that also took place in Texas. The Money in the Bank one was different, okay? So I was comparing the Raw reaction to John Cena and the SmackDown reaction to John Cena. So I should have clarified that. So let's go ahead and move on here. All right, guys. So after this, we had Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn. And first and foremost, I was already kind of happy that they were doing this match because, you know, we just had the return of Finn Balor last week. And I was curious as to, like, how are they going to play Finn Balor here? Are they going to, you know, have him go up against Roman Reigns? Or are they just going to find a different spot for him on the roster? Like, what's going to go down here? So I really wasn't sure. However, we should have kind of known what direction that they were heading in with him based off this first match of the night. But even then, I will say this, I think that WWE successfully fooled me tonight because after tonight's match with Sami Zayn, I kind of thought we were done with Finn Balor for the night. I was like, all right, he'll be back. We'll see him again next week. I wasn't expecting anything more. But either way, we have this match with Finn Balor and Sami Zayn. Sami works the left arm of Finn right at the top of this match. They go to the outside. Sami hits him with several punches to the body. They go back in the ring and Finn takes him down, gets him with several stomps, gets Sami Zayn with several stomps, becomes very, very aggressive. Sami then hits the Michinoku driver and goes for the count, but only gets a 2 count there. And then eventually Finn Balor ends up double stomping Sami Zayn on the head and ends up going for a top rope coup de grace and gets the 3 count. So this was a perfectly fine match. And I'm so glad that they had Finn Balor obviously win this match against Sami Zayn. Any other result would have kind of not made sense for Finn Balor. But moving forward, I'm not going to talk about Finn Balor Roman Reigns yet because that closes out the show. But just remember that this victory against Sami Zayn is actually going to lead to something later on in the night. So I was very, very thrilled about that. And let's see what did you guys think about this Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn match? Also, guys, I do try to read comments, however, because we kind of have so many different things to talk about. If you want your comment to be read, I'll read it as long as it pertains to the actual topic that we're on. And then you guys can comment on some of the other things as well as we go for the rest of the show here. Let's see what we got here. We got a comment from Sticker Reds 202 who says NXT Finn was such a force of nature. I hope SmackDown Finn gets to stay in an absolute killer. I think they will. So far, based on what they did tonight, I kind of feel like they have a good solid direction and a good plan for Finn Balor. Maybe I'm, hoping too hard here, but I really feel like they are going someplace good with Finn Balor here. And let's see what else we got here. This is a comment from Dalen Prada who says, after Raw, I watch every debut now stressed out that the guy or girl debuting is going to lose. Thank you for making Balor win. I think honestly, it's not that I go into it thinking like, oh, this NXT talent is going to lose. It's not that. It's more of just like when that Karrion Kross Jeff Hardy thing happened, I was just in such a state of shock that it was just that moment. But I don't feel that way though moving forward, like with any other people from like NXT. For the most part, I definitely don't. And let's see what else we got here. We have a comment from Joseph Boza who says, I think Finn will be fine on SmackDown. He was sent to NXT by Vince to get eyes away from AEW. And let's see, we got a comment from Brandon who says, so far Finn is super over. Let's hope they keep it up. Also, keep Finn away from Jeff Hardy, just in case. Exactly. Keep him away from Jeff Hardy, because Jeff Hardy will definitely beat him. And let's see what else we got here. All right, cool. We're going to go ahead and jump into the next segment. So after this, we had a very funny further we're moving on with Baron Corbin here. So Baron Corbin has been of topic lately on these SmackDown post shows because Baron Corbin is somebody that I wouldn't say not the entire fandom is a fan of Baron Corbin, and I'm guilty. I've admitted it. I haven't been that big of a fan of Baron Corbin whatsoever. However, they've definitely been turning the tides here with Baron Corbin because they've been sort of garnering this sympathy from the people, and it's working, guys. I mean, it might not be working for like every single person out there watching SmackDown, but I gotta say it's working for me, and it's working for a lot of people because I see your comments, I see how you guys are feeling about this Baron Corbin storyline, and they've got something here that is working. So last week, as you know, he did a playoff of the GoFundMe, but instead it was the Corbin funds, and it was a legit website where you can go on there. However, obviously you can't donate money, but on there it said something along the lines of it being temporarily unavailable, something along those lines, right? So he does this interview with Kayla Braxton, and Kayla's asking him like, "Hey, how much money did you make?" And he starts I was expecting him to say maybe like $0 or $100 or something like ridiculously low, but it ended up being that Baron Corbin actually lost money on this Corbin Funds website. Instead, he says that the guy who created his website ended up ghosting him after Baron Corbin paid him, and then says that he thinks he stole his identity. So, I mean, if things couldn't get any worse with Baron Corbin, they get even worse later on in the night, because later on in the night, we see him asking money. We see him asking Kevin Owens for some money. Kevin Owens is like, all right, fine. He gives him some money, right? But then Shotzi and Knox are there in the tank, and they end up throwing one of those little balls, and it hits him right in the balls. And I mean, he falls to the ground. And I believe it was, I think it was Dolph Ziggler and Rude who ended up then taking his money from Baron Corbin. So it was pretty messed up. He finally gets a little bit of cash, and then bam, they take it away from him. So things just continue to go lower and lower for Baron Corbin. And you know what? I am here for it. I am here for the storyline because I feel like this is probably one of the most relatable things that they have on SmackDown. We've all been there when our lives not just falling apart on a random Monday, but it continues on for the rest of the week. Hell, some even months. We have those periods in our lives where things are pretty much going to the shits, essentially. And so I feel like we can all sort of at some point in our lives relate to Baron Corbin here. So I like this. I like what they're doing with Corbin, and I like how they're sort of getting creative with him, essentially just having a horrible life, which is really sad. But you know what? It's working. We have a super chat from Anshu Kamal who says, Finn had a great pop. What are your views on the new pay-per-view announced on year day? Hold on, I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to on this one. So I'm a little bit unclear here, but I'll come back to this. Thank you so much to Anshu Kamal for sending in this super chat. We have another super chat from Brandon Charles Powell who says, here's a donation for Corbin. See that it gets to him. Let me just say something. Baron Corbin ain't on this show sweating bullets because all these lights are on him, handling chats, handling notes, and handling the technical aspects of a live streams. So I am definitely not giving him any percentage of my super chats. I'm a nice person. I ain't that nice. Thank you so much to Brandon Charles Powell for sending in the super chat. What did you guys think of this Baron Corbin situation? Let's see what you guys all felt about this. Let's see. This one's from Samoan Joseph who says, oh man, if they make Corbin get hurt by the tank every week, Robert Stone will sigh in relief. It would be kind of funny if, like, no matter what, they always found a moment during the show to get him in the balls with the ball. The balls with the ball. And let's see what else we got here. And this is a comment from Mario Morales who says, Brandon, Denise is going to pocket that $5 and ghost Corbin. Yeah, I would definitely do that. And let's see what else we got here. Yeah, Corbin, top babyface of 2022 from Maddie McElwee. And when Pacino says, even Denise dissing Corbin. You know what? A lot of people, you know what? when I met Baron Corbin, when I did that interview with him, he's such a nice person, guys. Like when they say that people really like Baron Corbin, you know, in WWE, I can definitely see why. He is a very, very nice person. And we have a super chat from Brandon Rosen, who says, last week Corbin cut a heel promo. I get the feeling the bookers are judging how the crowd reacts to Corbin first before making a full turn. Yeah, obviously he's going to be treading the lines, because even there's certain things where obviously his life was a lot different than some of us, because he even mentions like having to go on a bus, and he makes the bus seem like the most disgusting thing ever. So in turn, he's still kind of being a little bit of a douche, because, you know, obviously he was used to all of the fine details of all of this. So yeah, I totally get what they're doing here. So thank you so much to Brandon Rosen. And this is another comment from Anshu Kamal, who says that WWE announced a pay-per-view on New Year's Day on 1st of January. How the hell did I miss that? Where have I been? I didn't see this. Where have I been, guys? Holy dang, I've been living under a rock, apparently. But thank you so much to Anshu Kamal. Apparently, this was one of the things that I missed in terms of like every single news bit that has been broken out. So there you go. I missed something, guys. BTW, welcome to Joe T, who just became a new member here on the channel. If you guys have not yet become a member here on the YouTube channel, make sure you guys do so. We are making our way to 100,000 subscribers here on the YouTube channel. So make sure you guys subscribe. Alrighty. And Keith Duran says the new pay-per-view was announced on YouTube by Bianca Belair. Damn, I completely missed that. Ace Condu says WWE put that on Twitter after the Bianca match. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I totally missed that. Totally 100% missed that. Man. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on, though. So after this, we are going to jump into kind of when this little portion of SmackDown started getting just a tad bit odd, okay? So we had Big E come out, and Big E comes out, and he starts saying, you know, obviously he just won the men's Money in the Bank, so, you know, good for him. People are really excited. He was one of the hot picks going into Money in the Bank, and then essentially, you know, the crowd is chanting, you deserve it. I'm thinking we're going to get a nice little speech or something, but he doesn't really get to say much, because then a lot kind of happens here that kind of didn't lead to anything and ended up jumping into Rolling Loud. So let me explain what happened here. So Apollo Crews comes out and he starts telling Big E that, you know, winning the Money in the Bank briefcase is not the same thing as winning a championship. Then he is interrupted by Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. And here's the interesting thing. Michael Cole, if I'm correct, based on what I heard him say on commentary, I think he accidentally called them the tag team champions. I might have misheard that, but it sounded like he did to me. Either way, then we had Rick Boogs introduce Nakamura. Then Cesaro came out, and he basically says, enough talking. He wants the title and says it's swing time in Cleveland, and this literally breaks into a brawl. So all of these guys that I just mentioned essentially end up brawling, and I'm thinking this is probably going to lead to a match. This is going to lead to something, and this doesn't. This ended up being a very, very odd segue into Rolling Loud. So as I mentioned, we were broadcasting from two locations, Cleveland and Miami. And so we jump into Rolling Loud. And this is where things are going to get a little bit interesting, because I have quite a few of some, I don't know if they're hot takes, but I have some opinions on what we saw here today. But first and foremost, we have a super chat from Anna Blamplate, who says, during the Biggie segment, a Raw rider escaped. Wow, why did that take so long for me to say? That's a super chat from Adam Blamplate. And here we go. So I'm curious as to how you guys felt about the Rolling Loud situation. So start getting those comments in here, because I want to know, did you think that, so we saw two matches essentially from the Rolling Loud Festival. I want to know the pros and cons of how you guys felt watching this, because to me, there was quite a few pros and quite a few cons. So I'm going to kick things off with the pros, all right? So first and foremost, let me just tell you guys that the matches that we saw were Angela Dawkins defeated Chad Gable, and we also saw Bianca Belair defeat Carmella for the SmackDown Women's Championship, okay? So the pros here really are that I think it's cool that, WWE is, kind of getting out of their not comfort zone, but kind of stepping out and doing these like cross promotional events where, obviously you want to get new eyeballs on the product. Everybody's talked about ratings and all of that. So you want to get these new eyes. And I don't know the exact number of how many people were at that festival, but there were thousands upon thousands of people there. Okay. And the setup was really cool. It was this massive stage and they had the ring right smack in the middle. So visually, it looked phenomenal. And obviously, at the end of the day, there are tons of humans there, tons of paying humans with eyeballs. So you definitely want to get your product out there. I think it's cool. And I would still like to see WWE do more of this type of stuff. Now, before I get into the cons of this, I do want to read the super chat from Brandon, who says the fans at Rolling Loud couldn't wait for those matches to be over so they could see Rick Ross. So here's the thing, guys. Obviously, the Rolling Loud crowd was definitely not a wrestling crowd, okay? They were not. There might have been, a couple, 100 or so people, however many people out there that are maybe wrestling fans. There might be a few. There might be a few WWE fans in there. We don't know. They might be there. There might be people that, know of wrestling. Then there might be people that may have been fans when they were kids and they grew out of it. So many different people, right? But the majority or the overall consensus that we can say here is that was definitely not a wrestling crowd. That was a music crowd. They're there for a music festival. Now, I have been to quite a few festivals in my time, never by my decision. I was forced to go to them because I was either covering them or attending them with a friend. I hate music festivals. Music festivals are awful, okay? And they're especially awful if you're a short person like me because people don't care about you. They rest your shoulders. They rest their elbows on your shoulders and it's awful and it's hot and people are all over you. It's terrible, okay? It's terrible. But the point that I'm trying to get at here is that usually in festivals, there are several different stages. They have like your main stages, they have like small stages, medium stages, etc. Obviously, your big artists, they are on the bigger stages. But usually, whoever the headlining act is, like you can't just pop in like 20 minutes before their set and be like, all right, I'm ready to see, so-and-so up on this big stage. No, you got to get there. You got to be there front and center, especially if you want to be in the front. If you want to be in the front, you got to get there bright and early to get those spots. If your favorite act is, the closing act and they're going to be, very, very popular and you want to get a good spot, you're going to have to be at that stage the majority of the time, pretty much the entire day. There's no leaving. You're done. You're going to watch everything that they do there. So I don't know how many stages they have at Rolling Loud, but I'm assuming there was obviously more than one because usually that's how festivals work. But again, I've never been to Rolling Loud. So obviously they had this big, tremendous amount of people. Like I said, you can see it was a sea of people. So it looked visually great. So it looks like WWE was placed on one of the main stages, or if not the main stage. And so obviously all of those people are going to be there because they've been there probably waiting forever to see whoever the main act is for the night. And so no matter what, you already got those people there. But at the same time, you got to think about this. Who knows how long those people have been standing there watching the show in that heat, in that temperature, standing, essentially waiting for whoever it is that they want to see perform. So obviously these people are not going to be, completely losing their minds over, what they're seeing with the WWE product. And the other thing, so if I saw a lot of people saying oh, the crowd was dead, there was no reaction, they were piping in crowd noises. And while all of that is true, it was what was expected. I was not expecting anybody there to be like, oh my God, Chad Gable, or oh my God, the Street Profits. Nah, you're going to get your courteous cheers, your courteous applauses and all of that, but you're not going to get, people that know the story or the storylines or really know. I'm sure a lot of these people didn't even know who these people were. With that being said, I kind of did think, so they had Wale do he came out with the Street Profits, so that was pretty cool. But there was a really, I didn't think that the matches that they chose to put in front of this crowd was necessarily the bestest of options here, because the match between Angelo Dawkins and Chad Gable was really nothing out of this world. It was just there. It was such a basic match, and I didn't think that they did anything that really, I would say, like captivated the crowd in any sense. Like, even if you're not interested, let's say you're not interested in the wrestling, that's just not your thing. If you're still watching and people are doing cool stuff in the ring, you're still gonna pop like, oh shoot, that was pretty cool. I didn't really get that from the crowd, and the reason for that is I didn't think this match was the match that you should put on in front of in front of an audience like this. Like, for an audience like this, I didn't think this was the right match to put out. I didn't think it was necessarily the right way to go about it. Then they had Bianca Belair come out, and when Bianca Belair came out, obviously once they introduced her, once the match actually started, that was fine because they introduced her as a champion. But prior to that, they introduced her, and then she came out, and then we went to commercial break. But when she came out, they didn't even say like who she was or anything like that. So it was a little bit weird. So after this match, she comes out, she's happy, she's smiling, and then they cut to commercial. Then we come back and we have this match with Carmella, and this match was nothing. It was really nothing either. And so obviously, we saw Bianca Belair win. She's the champion. She was going to win, but I didn't think they did a good job of putting matches that, even if the crowd didn't care, they at least, I would think, would want to put matches that are at least going to gain some sort of, reactions from the crowds. Like, somebody I would have put out there, I would have put Rey freaking Mysterio out there. He was somebody that, is recognized, no matter what, because his mask is legendary and all of that. And somebody that is going to be doing like all of these crazy spots and all of stuff like that. I think somebody like that would have definitely worked in front of an audience like this. Obviously, when you have people like Bianca Belair, doing athletic things, that works. So I just think they could have done things differently here, but overall, I still would like to see something like this. And it did, but here's the thing too. It looked visually cool for the viewers watching, at home. But at the same time, it was kind of like, okay, I don't really have to pay attention to this because nothing is really happening here. Because this match, it's not for me. It's for the people that are there at the Rolling Loud Festival. And then the Rolling Loud Festival people were treating it like, oh, well, this match really isn't for me. It's for the people on TV. So it was very, very interesting how all of this played out. So, all right, now that I went on my pros and cons list, what did you guys all think of the Rolling Loud execution and all of this and what we saw? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Send in your thoughts here. Let's see. We got a comment from Emo Man who says, not a single person clapping was found in that crowd. They didn't care at all. Arms crossed at their sides. Again, those people were probably there for God knows how long, and they just want to see who they paid money for and get the hell out. Then we have Zayn Miller who says, the shot to the crowd compared to the sound, LOL. At the Rolling Loud was so bled. Bianca has been given nothing with Carmella. I hope she gets a good SummerSlam opponent on such a big stage. And now I get why we've had to see Bianca versus Carmella, I think like 3 times now back to back, because I almost feel like they didn't. They wanted, obviously, somebody like Carmella to be a part of this Rolling Loud match that I almost feel like they didn't realize they were going to want her there for that match. So we ended up having to see that match more times than they probably anticipated here. BTW, concerts are totally different from festivals because concerts, you have your assigned seatings and you're in a venue with air conditioning. So concerts are totally different, a totally different experience from festivals and all of that. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. We got a comment from Antonio Marrero who says, if they wanted people to get people interested, he says, they should have sent out Edge, Cena, Mysterio, people whose names remembered in the business. Sorry, I totally botched your comment there. But yeah, so Antonio is basically saying that people with no name should be coming out there. I think they could have mixed it up, obviously, so that you can get, some of your new faces over. But yeah, I do think that people with a little bit more of a name, maybe not John Cena, because you obviously want him for the Cleveland crowd, and Edge, you also want him for the Cleveland crowd. That is why I said Rey Mysterio. I think Rey Mysterio would have been a fantastic option for that, honestly. And Colette Adams says the crowd gave the Street Profits zero reaction. If anything, that they got the biggest reaction because they came out with Wale. Joseph Boza says pros. I love the attempt of Rolling Loud. They don't know if something is successful until they try. That is the truth. You're not going to find out if it's successful if you don't try. But here's the con from Joseph. He says, the execution wasn't that good. Fans didn't really care. Piped in noise. Profits, Bianca and Carmella got no reaction. Exactly. And all right, I'm going to go through a couple more comments. Let's see what else we got here. Planet Dan ASMR says people thought they were doing the women's title. And let's see what else we got. Josh Bowen says overall it was different and fresh, and that's a good thing. Yes, definitely a good thing. Again, you only learn from what you put out there. So I hope that if they do attempt to do this again, that it is done a little bit differently. This is a comment from Lionheart who says, yeah, it did sound like they piped in noise. Bianca did her best to keep a smile on and keep up her energy. She did. And when she showed her athleticism, I do think that people did react to that, because at the end of the day, it's very impressive the things that she can do in the ring. So there you go. And all right, I think for the most part, I'm going to read one more comment. This one is from Riff55, who says the visual of the massive crowd, and the matches was pretty cool, but the crowd didn't care, and it felt hard for me to care about it as well. Yeah, again, I kind of watched this kind of thinking like, all right, this isn't for me. This is just for, new faces to essentially get, take notice of WWE, essentially. All right, guys, here we go. Let's move on. All right, so we kind of had our whole discussion on Rolling Loud and all of this, but before we move on to the Edge segment, I just want to remind you guys all, for those of you who are here, first and foremost, thank you so much for tuning into the show. I am so appreciative of everybody who comes in, especially because, SmackDown is usually like, when we didn't have crowds, like SmackDown was like usually my most relaxed like show, because, not much was really going on. But now with live crowds returning, I kind of feel like it's definitely brought new life to this post show. So it just makes like covering wrestling so much better, having the live audiences back. And I love chatting SmackDown with each and every single one of you. But also I am live, not just for SmackDown, but I'm also live on Tuesdays immediately following NXT. And NXT has been putting on such great stuff on there. So if you guys haven't checked out that post show, make sure you guys come in and hang out for a second. That's how we kick off the week on here with NXT. And then my most popular show of the week is definitely my AEW Dynamite post show. Things are always happening on that show. What can I say? People love to come on here and talk about AEW. I love to come on here and talk about the show. So make sure you guys join me on Wednesdays for AEW. We have another super chat. This one is from Avery Solomon, who says, my 6-year-old will only listen to podcasts, interviews, etc. when you're involved. He's 6. Oh my God. Oh, thank you so much, Avery. That makes me really, really happy and very excited to hear. So there you go, guys. I bring in that young demo. Look at me bringing in that young demo over here. And I'm not on swinging on some playground. There you go. Thank you so much to Avery for sending in this super chat. All right, guys, let's move in. Let's move on to Edge here. So Edge comes out. Again, nice reaction for Edge. He's addressing Chef Rollins. And for those of you guys who did not see my tweet, there was a moment where Edge said Seth Rollins, but I swear to God that I heard Chef Rollins. And after that, I was sold. I was like, you know what? Even if I heard wrong, I don't care. I heard Chef Rollins. Chef Rollins it is. Anyways, but he addresses Seth Rollins. Seth ends up coming out and he basically calls Edge grandpa, and he keeps calling him this throughout the rest of the promo. Edge then tells him to shut up. Yeah, he's embarrassing himself. Edge promises that he won't put his hands on Seth Rollins if Seth Rollins confronts him in the ring. And so Seth does. He gets in the ring with him, says he is thrilled that Grandpa Edge is there, that he's been such a scumbag to him, and that he essentially wants to crush Edge's dreams. All right. Edge finally gets absolutely fed up with Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins was just annoying the hell out of him. So he punches him in the face again for being supremely annoying. So he punches him in the face. They start to go at it. Edge hits the execution on Seth. Then Edge goes for the spear, but Seth Rollins moves out of the way. I gotta say, I was a fan of this. I like this direction that we're heading with Edge and Seth Rollins. I like this. I feel like Seth Rollins has definitely needed something different. You know, he's sort of been like hit or miss, you know, depending on what month we're talking about. I was done with the whole Cesaro thing. They definitely extended that out as much as they possibly could. We got so much from that. So I'm glad that we're moving on to, you know, the story with Edge, and I'm feeling hot for it. I'm feeling more hot for Edge Seth Rollins than I was Edge Roman Reigns. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, what the hell, Denise, you're crazy. But I've already said my piece about that. If you missed that on some of my other post shows, then make sure not to miss a post show. But seriously though, I like what they're doing here. What did you guys think of this? All right. Let's see. We got a comment from Drip God Place who says Edge mentioning the Brood and the Ministry of Darkness was a nice callback. I did like that as well. I like him basically addressing how he could be this maniacal person, and he gives, you know, some history to that as well. And we have a super chat from Ian. Thank you so much to Ian who says it's incredibly easy for me personally to support you as a woman in this wrestling space across all YouTube channels. #Forbidden Door. Seth Edge, money in the match of the night at SummerSlam. Okay, there you go. Sorry, I thought you were saying Money in the Bank for a second. Dude, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to Seth Edge as well for SummerSlam. So thank you so much to Ian for sending this in. And let's see what else we got here. This is a comment from Josh Bowen who says, I love this feud already. I wanted Rollins versus Edge, and now I'm getting it. Absolutely awesome. I think from the second that they teased it, I was totally feeling the direction that they were heading into with all of this. Colette Adams says this promo kicked ass, should be a great match. And yeah, I have a feeling that they're definitely, Zayn Miller brings up Grandpa Edge. Oh, they're definitely going to mention that more than one time. We are going to be hearing Grandpa Edge a million times. At least that's how I feel about that. Because the second they come up with something, like, they will make sure we hear it 1 zillion times. All right. And let's see. Let's read this one from Riff 55 who says Edge cut a fun promo. Seth is someone who is easily easy to dislike, but his cackling laugh is borderline change the channel heat. Yeah, so there was a segment a couple weeks back when he was in the Ding Dong Hello segment with Bailey, and oh my God, I was not a fan of that whatsoever because they were just laughing the entire time. And I remember coming onto the show thinking, if I hear another person laugh, I'm going to lose my mind. I was not a fan of that. So anytime that he starts getting into this very like, I'm just going to laugh sort of thing, it kind of automatically takes me back to the whole Bailey, Seth laughing segment. And I don't like it. So I kind of feel like because of that one segment, I totally get what Riff 55 here means when he means change the channel heat with Seth Rollins laughing like crazy. So yeah, there you go. Thank you so much to Riff 55 for the chat, for the comment here. All right, guys. And yeah, everybody's talking about the Seth Rollins laugh here. But yes, let's point out that we do miss Bailey, BTW. I really do miss Bailey. All right. Here we go, guys. Let's move into what everybody was super chatting about early on in this stream. So this is where things are going to get a little interesting because I do have a theory here, and I don't know how well my theory is going to essentially hold up here. But let's talk about this. So we knew that Toni Storm was going to be debuting on SmackDown here tonight. We already knew that. We were already excited. I'm a Toni Storm fan. I've been a Toni Storm fan. I feel like I've seen star in her since like day one. So I'm really happy that, you know, she's made her way on to the SmackDown brand. And, you know, not only do we need women, but we need women like Toni Storm who come in with this credibility, come in with this star power, come in with the in-ring skill. So she has it all to really make her way to become a challenger to Bianca Belair. So I love the fact that they selected her into coming in and being part of this division. But anyways, so she's making her debut, and we didn't know who she was going to be wrestling against. We didn't know who her debut was going to be against. It ended up being against Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega, they did not even give her an entrance, guys. She got the jobber entrance, which does not say anything positive, especially since she just came back. I think she's been back for 3 weeks, a month, maybe less. Toni Storm got a nice little reaction. Obviously, a lot of people probably don't know Toni Storm, but there was a good amount of people that, the reaction came through on television. So she did get a nice little reaction, not a massive pop by any means, but a nice reaction. But they didn't even give Zelina an intro. So I'm just thinking that's probably not the greatest. So this match, we see Vega gets Toni Storm with a knee to the face. Toni gets her with a headbutt. And then Zelina hits her with a very, very slow code red. And then Storm ends up getting the win with the Storm 1. Very, for the most part, fast match. And Toni Storm came out looking great. She looked perfectly fine. But it does make me wonder, it doesn't feel like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like they have big plans for Zelina right now. It really doesn't, because she has been on a losing streak since making her return to WWE. She lost to Liv Morgan on her first match back. And then obviously she lost the Money in the Bank match. And then she lost to Toni here tonight. So it's not looking good right now to Zelina. And somebody brought this up earlier in a super chat, basically asking if I think that WWE is burying her. I don't know, but I do think if some people think that, I feel like given what we've seen, just a bunch of losses, no entrance, I think some people can make that argument. And if they do make that argument, they'll have some concrete data to support their theory. And yeah, what do you guys think about this? It's not looking good for Zelina as of right now, but it is looking good for Toni Storm. So let's see how we got here. This is a comment from Antonio who says that the headbutt was brutal. Yeah, it was brutal. You heard that. And then they kind of hung it there. They hung in there for a while. So they really sold the hell out of that headbutt. I mean, it was definitely very it was a moment, that was for sure. Synonymous TV says that Toni Storm's debut was definitely solid. Planet Dan ASMR says that Toni Storm's Zelina match solidified that they only brought her back to punish and bury her. How's your sunburn? There's nothing worse. My sunburn is terrible. And yeah, a lot of people, I think, I don't know if I mentioned this on one of my shows or I just kept it to myself, but I did wonder if they did bring her back for those two reasons, to punish her or make an example out of it, because at the end of the day, that was a very controversial issue that did make the company look bad. And I'm just only imagining that if you make the company look bad, chances are they're not going to react nicely to that, as we've seen, as history has told us before. So, I mean, again, it's not like I'm back there. I don't know what's going on, but just based off of what we're seeing, it's not that great. Francisca says Zelina could be because of the whole situation with Twitch. So they are punishing her at the moment, I think. And look, from the looks of it, a lot of people feel this way. A lot of people think that Max Stone says Vince will bury her for the union comments. And we have another comment from, I wanted to read it and I lost it here, but it really does feel like they are sadly not, make what you will of that. That's all I'm going to say. Jalen Davis says, I don't think they're burying Zelina. I mean, everybody can't win and they don't have another heel that can lose. Like I said, make what you will. We have a super chat from Christopher Marina who says, with Sasha and Bailey not there, Zelina and Carmella are the only heels and one seems to be a jobber now. Yeah, again, the SmackDown women's division is not necessarily completely stacked at the moment. So they do have limited people on there right now. Obviously, they added Zelina, they added Toni Storm, they added Shotzi, they added Nox. So they are adding people. And let's see what else we got. We got so many comments about this. Let me get your opinions here. So here we go. This one is from Roman Gorohovsky, who says, I don't think they brought her in to be punished. Why would they even pay her for that? But they did bring her to fill out the undercard, and that's what she's doing. Jake Hamilton says, Vince doesn't like unions, and she had to delete her tweets regarding unions, but I'm sure there's nothing to it, right? question mark. We have a comment from Rome Mars who says, the worst thing about Vegas, how it looks on the company to other wrestlers. Release a superstar, bring them back as a jobber. Wrestlers are already jumping ship. And let's see what else we got here. This one is from Sticker Reds 202, who says, the idea that Zelina was rehired in order to make her miserable is a conspiracy theory to end all conspiracy theories. So there you go. It's definitely a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy theory. Okay, we'll take it. We have another comment from Synonymous TV who says, there needs to be more jobbers, so established don't get jobbed out for someone else's push. This one's from Riff55. It says Zelina didn't have to win, but she could have at least had a match. She just jobbed out. And we have another super chat from Brandon Rosen who says, can't wait for Vince to change Toni's name to Storm. Oh, I hope not. No, I mean, it's not as bad as Nox, but I'm not a fan of just the one name thing. I'm not into that. I like having two names, man. And don't you want to know why I like having two names? And it's very, very simple. As somebody who's like, obviously, as you guys know, as an on-air personality, I have to build my brand and all of that good stuff, I'm not going to bore you guys with the fine details of that. But when you Google, for example, Walter, you're not automatically going to get Walter from WWE. Like, you got to put in Walter WWE or like Walter NXT. If you type in Nox, for example, you're not going to necessarily get Tegan Nox. You're going to have to type in like Tegan Nox or Nox WWE or whoever the cases may be. Like, whoever has that one name. I mean, unless it's like Kane, then okay. But like for the most part, like, I'm always having to Google people because I'm always having to pull images. And the people with the one name, I always got to add WWE. So you don't want your name to essentially not be immediately found when people are like searching on Google. So that's the way that I see it, like in terms of like how it helps them out in their brand. It kind of sucks to not be able to find people like automatically. So that may be like a dumb reason. But can you imagine typing Storm into Google? You're not going to get Toni Storm. You're going to get images of a storm. You get what I mean here? So thank you so much to Brandon Rosen for sending in this super chat. Let's see what else we got here. And all right, I think I got most of everything here. But again, guys, make what you will of the Zelina thing. I mean, make what you will of that. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. So we got two more segments to talk about here, but before I do, announcement time, everybody. Well, not really announcement time, but FYI, if you guys have not followed me on Twitter, I am like seriously like busting my hump on there to like try to get like, grow that because, having a big Twitter following is unfortunately something that needs to happen if I want my career to keep growing and all of that, and if I want my shows to keep growing and all of that. So if you have not followed me on Twitter or on Instagram, please make sure you do so. I'm @_ Denise Salcedo. I have a very disgusting Twitter addiction. I'm not happy about it, but it is what it is. Fun fact, I tweet over 1,000 times a month, everybody. I've been keeping track of my Twitter analytics, and apparently if I want to keep growing my Twitter channel, I have to literally tweet over 1,000 times. Fun fact, that's a little back end scoop there. And there's been months where I only tweet 700 times. And I will tell you, my Twitter suffers because of it. So Twitter is pressuring me to tweet more. So anyways, you guys can follow me on Twitter @_ Denise Salcedo. I tweet during all the shows and, put my 2 cents out there, my predictions out there. Sometimes people rip me to shreds in the comment section. It's fine. It's cool. We got it together. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter. We have a super chat from a flamethrower who says, Vince wants to change my name to Thrower. Yeah, that's definitely going to be hard to find on Google. Definitely. Thank you so much to Flamethrower for making this joke on here and sending in a super chat. Alrighty. And okay, cool. We can move on, guys. All right. So we got Jimmy Uso versus Dominic Mysterio next. This was what it was. It was an okay match. This really was just to keep furthering, everything that's going on with, the Usos and the Mysterios and, the Usos, finding new ways to work with one another, helping one another to essentially win this match. All you really need to know here is that Jimmy wins with the help of Jay. that's pretty much what went down here. So let's hop on to the last segment of the night, everybody. And we have Roman Reigns' music finally hits. And as you guys know, Roman Reigns is going to come out when he wants, not when John Cena wants. Roman Reigns gets a nice reaction to him, obviously. They cut to a commercial break, but before the commercial break, Roman and the Usos all raise up their championship belts, and that's a nice little image. We go to commercial. We come back from commercial, and Roman essentially just starts telling Cleveland, quote, "Cleveland, acknowledge me." Then he addresses the people watching from home, and he says, "Acknowledge me to those people." He then cuts some very, very interesting promo, to say the least. Definitely one of my favorite lines of the week, and one of my favorite lines probably of all time here. So he starts talking about how he feels that Hollywood sort of fooled him. He said that he was expecting John Cena to come back from Hollywood and be different. He was expecting a new paint job, a new makeover out of John Cena, again, coming from Hollywood now that he's this big Hollywood star. But instead, he says everything is the same with John Cena. The same clothes, the same quotes, the same everything. Then he compares John Cena to the missionary position. And he says that it's as boring as the missionary position because it's the same thing every single night. And I will tell you that after Roman Reigns compared John Cena to the missionary position, I laughed for like 2 minutes straight. Like I could not continue on with my life because I was laughing for like 2 minutes straight. I couldn't even type this out on Twitter. I was dying of laughter during this because I did not expect that line out of nowhere. Roman Reigns has some very good one-liners, but for the most part, I would say he keeps it PG. I don't think there's really been a lot, maybe a couple of things that he has said, but for the most part, like this one felt rated M for mature, to say the least. So he then says he won't accept John Cena's challenge. And before I move on to what happened afterwards, what did you guys think of this line here? We have a comment from Drip God Plays who says, "I lost it." Definitely did. Sticker Reds 202 says, "Reminds me of John Cena's missionary position in Trainwreck." Oh, I watched that movie. Yeah, that was a funny movie there. I don't remember that scene. Is that the one where he came out naked? I think he was naked and like Nikki didn't know about it. She got mad or something. I don't really remember the details on that, but I remember something along those lines there. And let's see what else we got here. Everybody's just basically talking about that funny line. All right, cool. So we got a super chat from Cyclops is better than Wolverine, who says, "Oh my God, guys, I come on here and I say that I'm gonna read whatever you guys send in on these super chats because at the end of the day, you pay your hard-earned money. But damn, Cyclops. All right, these are Cyclops words, not mine. And at the end of the day, he paid his hard-earned money, and I respect that. Cyclops is better than Wolverine says, nothing wrong with missionary with eye contact. Again, that was not my words. Thank you so much to Cyclops is better than Wolverine for sending in this super chat. Sticker Reds 202 says, "What has this show become?" I don't know, man. You make a couple of Peacock jokes on a random Sunday, and all of a sudden you're hosting Rated M for mature programming here. All right. We got a super chat from Chad West who says, "Anyone else felt like both promos from Cena and Reigns were both on par with each other?" Hell yeah, they were both really great. You know what? The crowd was obviously nuts for John Cena, so that definitely made things better. But I think in terms of like verbiage and what was said, I got to give this one to Roman Reigns. I mean, he completely blew me and a bunch of people out of the water with that whole missionary line. So there you go. And let's see what else we got here. This is from Michael who says, "Nah, I thought it was too corny, but credit for Roman for trying." What? No way. That was not corny whatsoever. I'm a man says, "I, for one, like knowing that my tribal chiefs likes to change up the positions." All right. I need to stop reading everyone's comments. Here's the I don't get to read everybody's comments, but I need to start reading. I'm moving on, guys. I don't even know how to continue on. Josh Bowen says it's okay, Denise. We know you are a professional. Guys, I'm a professional. At the end of the day, this is still pro wrestling. Pro wrestling comes with a little bit of an edge. So there we go. Jake Hamilton says we are getting demonetized. No, I don't think that leads to demonetization. I think it's like other stuff that leads to demonetization. I don't know. All right, let's move on, or else I'm going to get an angry text. Imagine I get an angry text from like Tony or somebody. Denise, your shows are inappropriate. Oh, dear. All right, let's move on. So here's the big thing we got to talk about, and it is, so after the whole missionary line, Finn Balor. Okay, so hold on. Roman Reigns tells John Cena he will not accept his challenge. So he says no to John Cena. No. Then Finn Balor's music plays. Finn Balor then comes out, and Finn Balor says that if he won't, first of all, he says he's not going to acknowledge Roman Reigns. And then he says that if Roman will not accept John Cena's challenge, if he's not interested in John Cena, then why doesn't he accept his challenge? And hence, Finn Balor issues a challenge to Roman Reigns. And there's this long pause because the audience is chanting Roman scared over and over. So that was a really good little like build up because I really did not know. Honest to God, I did not know what Roman Reigns was going to respond here. So Roman accepts. And all I got to say, and that's essentially how the show closes out. But all I got to say is for anybody, again, I hate to beat a dead horse, but this goes back to Karrion Kross, Jeff Hardy. Anybody who thought that NXT doesn't matter, that protecting your champions doesn't matter is completely wrong, because part of the reason why this was such a hot segment, why I and a bunch of people are excited about Finn Balor challenging Roman Reigns is because Finn Balor, yeah, he's always been a star and all that, but he got his aura back with that NXT championship run that he had on NXT. In terms of work rate, he had some of the best matches by far, okay? So NXT helped him get back his aura and he feels special. So going into this match with Roman Reigns, people care. People care, and it obviously helped what he did as champion on NXT. This is a fresh match for Roman Reigns, and the crowds are going to be into it. Why? Because they didn't have him go out there and lose as the champion to Jeff Hardy. So I just got to say that I'm excited for Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns. And again, his run as NXT champion definitely made things a lot better. All right, we got a super chat. Guys, send in any final super chats, comments, etc. because we're almost wrapping up the show. We have a super chat from Martin Carrillo who says, this is edgy and rated R, right, Denise? I have no idea. No, this is definitely, I'm not the rated R superstar whatsoever. That's not happening on this show. But thank you so much to Martin Carrillo for sending in the super chat. We have another super chat from Martin Carrillo who says, I really want Balor to win back his title, damn it. No, this is going to be, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. For a bunch of shows, I've been on here basically saying that Roman Reigns needs challengers. Roman Reigns needs hot challengers. Roman Reigns needs new challengers. People that actually have credibility. That's what's going to make him an even better champion. He is going to have a hell of a match with Finn Balor, somebody that people care about. Obviously, they didn't necessarily say when this match is happening. I mean, how this match could happen next week. I don't know exactly when this match is happening. Obviously, it's not going to be SummerSlam because that's still looking like it's going to be Roman Reigns, John Cena. But it doesn't matter. Like, he's going to be that person while he's making his way. He's going to be that challenger for Roman Reigns while Roman Reigns eventually makes his way to John Cena and all of that goes down. So I just got to say, like, this is the perfect type of challenger that you need. And it does not hurt Finn Balor to lose to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is on a hot streak, man. Roman Reigns is on another level, and he's only going to keep getting bigger and better if he is obviously working with guys like Finn Balor, who are only going to continue to further help him establish his, strong reign as champion. He's going to keep elevating as champion, working with guys that are credible and good workers like Finn Balor, because it's going to lead lead to awesome matches and matches that people actually care about. So that's why I don't think Finn Balor is going to win. I don't want Finn Balor to win because I know that the big payoff of this is obviously going to be Roman, John Cena, and a great match for Roman Reigns to continue adding to his, list of accomplishments as champion. We have a super chat from Adam Blamplate who says, the Rated R Sports Info star Denise Salcedo. We have another super chat from Cyclops is better than Wolverine who says, Roman's going to bury Finn like he's a plant. That's one way of definitely putting it. Thank you so much to Cyclops for sending in this super chat as well. And all right, let's see what you guys are saying here, guys. Send in your comments on how you guys feel about Roman Reigns, Finn Balor. I'm going to read a couple, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap up this night here. We got a comment from, let's see what we got here. This one's from Riff55. It says, Finn is the perfect man to dethrone Roman Reigns. He is the best wrestler on the planet. Did I read this comment? I think I read that comment. Let's see. We got a comment from J Rock Dog who says, I'm worried if this match happens, Finn brings the demon and loses as a demon for the first time. I hope he doesn't. I think he should just be Finn Balor for this match. That way it'll be okay. So I hope he doesn't, actually. I hope he doesn't. And let's see what else we got here. This one is from Rome Mars, who says, there is no way Finn wins, and it kind of makes Roman look weak because he said no to Cena first. I guess it depends how the story goes from here. It doesn't make him look weak. He's a heel. That's what heels are going to do. He's going to try to avoid John Cena. That's fine. We all know it's going to happen. So I don't think it makes him look weak. Like, he's still going into this match with Finn Balor. It's just that's his heel move. He's not going to say yes. He's not on John Cena's clock. He's going to say no and kind of be like, douchey about it. So that's part of being a heel. I don't think it's going to make him look weak. We got another super chat from Brandon Rosen who says, given what happened on Monday, I can only pray for Finn and Tony's runs. Well, again, based on what happened tonight, so far, both Finn Balor and Toni Storm are looking okay. So I think we are all right with that. And let's see what else we got here. And let's see. Did I miss anything, guys? Feel free. If I missed your comment, feel free to resend it afterwards so that I can go ahead and get a couple of more comments in here because I might have missed a few. And this is from Edwin Pacino who says, we should have gotten Karrion Kross' debut against Roman Reigns. Come on, people. It would have worked. Dude, look, it's not... Man, I'm not even going to go off on that again because I already went off on that like 100 times. I'm going to start sounding like a broken record. We have a super chat from Stellar Justin Lopez who says they can still go back to it, but I thought Finn would be Roman's challenger going into the fall season of WWE. Yeah, like maybe after John Cena. I thought that they were just going to kind of wait and hold off and, just wait until his match with John Cena and then maybe, somebody else, perhaps Finn Balor, because I think I was under the assumption of that as well. But I kind of like that this little, obstacle that he's getting before John Cena. I'm totally cool with this. Totally. But yeah, I wasn't expecting it right away. But it makes sense. It's Finn Balor. It makes sense for them to go right into this. So thank you so much to Stellar Justin Lopez for sending in this comment. All right, let's see what else we got here. I'm going to read this comment from Marty McAlwee who says, another great SmackDown best weekly wrestling show with ease. I definitely agree. It's a good show. I don't know if it's my favorite show, but it's definitely a really good show. All right, guys, there you go. I think I got mostly everything here. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to my SmackDown post show. If you enjoyed this show, help me spread the word about it. Let other people know. Hey, give Denise Salcedo's show a chance. I go live 3 times a week. I'll be back on Tuesday. It's my next show on here. I'll be talking about NXT. Then I'll be back on Wednesday for AEW. And then I will be back once again on Friday. So make sure you guys come in for all of those shows. We are building a very, very nice, little family here. I'm starting to get to know so many of you, since a lot of you guys come in, a lot of you guys are regulars, take part in this chat. So you may not know it, but I kind of know you guys all by your usernames now. So congratulations. If you've been part of the show a lot and you comment a lot, I definitely know who you are. And I appreciate you guys. And I thank you guys so much for tuning in each and every single time. Do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give this video a like, leave a nice comment, and make sure to follow me on Twitter and or on Instagram @_ Denise Salcedo. Have an awesome weekend, everybody. Take care, and I will see you on Tuesday for NXT. Bye, everyone.